Hello, folks. This is activity ZX01, and I would like to explore a few things about the splitting command in the generative shape design and how it differs from the one in the part design. To do that, I will create a box, as you see here, but in the part design, and then create a surface. This surface. Obviously, I have to do it in the wireframe and surface design or generative shape, and then do the split. Okay, so remember, I'm going to create this box in the part design as a part. Okay, so let me maximize these things, and later on, of course, I'm going to do it with the cylinder. All right. So right now, I'm in generative shape design. I might as well make the plane meaning the surface. So on that vertical plane, I will sketch. Okay. I'll sketch a line, for example, like, like so, exit, and extrude it. Let's make it mirror extent, and I will make this thing maybe 40. Okay, good. So there is my surface. Now I want to create that box in the part design. By the way, let me hide the sketch. So first of all, we switch workbenches. We go to part design. Okay. And once again, for example, this vertical plane, to make it look although it's not necessary, but to make it look like this drawing, it doesn't matter really. On the horizontal plane, I will sketch. Okay. So I'll sketch a rectangle, something like that. Exit. Okay. And then pad it. Yeah, that's, let me make it mirror extend. Okay, so here's what you got. By the way, I'm going to make this thing a little bit shorter so that maybe I'll make this thing 30. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Now, save everything. So, file, save management, save as, uh, in the right folder, the group week 4. These are different activities. And we're going to save it there. Okay. Now I want to make it this thing a hollow box, so no problem. On that plane, I will sketch. Okay. Hang in there. On that plane, I will sketch. Yeah. A rectangle, like so. Exit, and then pocket. Maybe a little bit longer. Good. Okay. So now notice that first of all, if I use I'm partisan right now. If I use the split here, I cannot. Uh, uh, when I select this plane, it cuts this thing into two pieces. This part into two pieces. These arrows indicate which side you want to pick. Notice that there is the side to the bottom, and if you flip it, it's going to select the side to the top. For example, if I select the side to the bottom, it'll give me that piece, for example, like that. I'm going to hide that. It is not cutting, the surface, obviously. It's cutting that path. So let me hide this thing for a second. There we are. Now, if I go there, for example, and I flip the arrow, it'll cut it, but it'll give me the other side. But there is no option for selecting both sides of this. Okay. Now, let me undo this. Let me undo this. Control Z. Okay. Okay. Back we are. Now, this was the split in the part design. So let's switch to the generative shape design or wireframe and surface design. It doesn't matter. I'll go to generative shape design. There is a split here. You see that? There's a split here. In the operations toolbar, just if I click this and if I select this piece meaning the cutting element to cut is going to be, well, first of all, notice that element to cut, I can't select this stuff. Okay. You see that element to cut? I can select this and cutting element that. What happens is that it cuts the object, but the surfaces of the object. Okay. Let me say okay. And let me hide this. Let me hide that. So, and I'm going to hide this. Notice that it did not cut this the gray part. What it did, it cut the surfaces on the gray part. So let me bring this thing back. Uh, let's see now. Let's bring this thing back. There is my surface that I cut it with. I cut this gray object with the split that is in generative shape design. This split can only handle surfaces. So when you cut that gray part with this split, it splits the surfaces of it. So let me hide a few things here one more time. Let me hide this path. You see that? I'm gonna hide this cutting element. You see? Cut the surfaces associated with it. Okay? That's very important. Now, I'm going to do the same thing, except that this box, I'm not going to create it as the path that I showed you, but as a volume. Because notice that you can do volume. You have a path here, volume extrude. Okay, so let's undo these. Let's get rid of all of these. Get rid of all of these. Okay, let's get rid of this. Pocket goes. So we're back to square one. Nothing there. Okay, so now I am in generative shape design. I am not going to create that gray box. I'm going to create it as a volume. Okay, so what does that mean? On that horizontal plane, I will sketch, for example, the box, the rectangle, exit. Now pad it. I'll do it in one direction, uh, not mirror extend, one direction. Okay, so notice that the color is not gray anymore. This is not part anymore. There is no path here. There is no path. Okay. What it did, it created geometrical set, and in it, it created this volume for me. There is no path. Of course, I can go and change the size of this. There's no doubt about it, but it's not called path. That's why the color also looks different. Now let me go draw my plane. On that horizontal plane, on that vertical plane, I will sketch. Okay. So let me draw that line. Exit. Okay. And then extrude it to create a surface. Yeah, that's good. So let me do it on both sides. Okay, there we are. Okay. So I have a solid object, which is not pad, it is this thing and a surface. So if I take that split, you see that? That split. which is in generative shape design. Click it. Element to cut is that volume. Cutting element is that surface. Now you have the ability to keep both sides. Let's leave it like this right now. This one side. There. You see, it cut the solid object. It cut the solid object. Oh, I forgot, by the way, I forgot to pad it. Sorry, I forgot to make a hole to pocket it. Okay, so no problem. Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. Back to square one. Okay, I forgot to make a pocket here. Let me do that. There's a reason I want to do that. On that plane, I will sketch a rectangle. Rectangle. Remember last time what I did? I drew a rectangle here, exited, and pocketed it. But there is no pocket here. There is extrude. There is extrude. There is create a volume by revolving, etc. But there is no pocket. When I did this thing in part design as a pad, I could go select it and drew a circle, drew a rectangle on it, and then pocketed it. But there is no pocket here. So how do I do that stuff out of this? Okay, so let me actually go ahead and delete the sketch. Delete it. Well, that sketch is no good. It's totally useless. There is shelling operation here. Shell. You select this. How much you want to take out? Let's say we want to take out 10. There we are. Too little. Okay, let's go back there. Let me make it 2. There. Now, and it doesn't matter if it's bothering you that this is after that. Actually, there is a problem here because if I try to split this with that, and I say okay, okay, let me hide that. It actually, I don't, we shouldn't have said that there's a problem here. It does cut it. However, it you can create both sides. If you click on the split, note that you can either select the other side or even click both sides, select both sides. You see that? Now you can actually save both sides of this. There was no pocket here. I had to shell it out. And yeah, so there is the extrude surface. Okay, so let me undo this. Control Z. Let's Control Z all of these. Yeah, good, good. So let's go to the part design now and see whether we can use the split there. So we go there, part design. There's a split here, but it's not even selected. You see that it's dim. I cannot use this split in order to create this volume. This split is for splitting or cutting gray objects, not for volumes that you create potentially in, for example, generative shape design. Let me do another problem, a very simple problem once again. Here I use the uh, with the volume to create this object. I want to do it a different way. So let me go and start with the part file. Okay, fine. On that vertical plane, I will sketch a circle right there. Okay, exit, and I want to create a surface here. So let's go back to shape, generative shape design, extrude. Where's the extrude? Okay, let's do it a little bit more. Okay, good. All right, now there's the surface. Let me create a slanted plane on that vertical plane. I will sketch. I will sketch a line, and I will extrude it to be able to cut this thing with it. So extrude in both direction. Oh, both directions. Good. Okay. Now I have a surface here, but there is this option there to close that surface. You see that? Close the surface. Close the surface. You don't have to go to the part design in order to close the surface, because I don't, I'm not going to create a gray object. I'm going to create a purple object. So close surface, this, you say, okay. So now it creates that fellow. And if I use the split, I can actually literally uh, split this purple object. So element to cut is that closed surface. Let me cancel that for a second. Click on the split. Element to cut is this purple object. Cutting element is there. You can select one side of it, for example, like that. Let me hide these things. Let me hide this. It did not split. It did not split the surface of the cylinder. See that? Let's try it. For example, if I hide that, you see, it did not cut that. It cut the purple object inside of it. Okay. So let me bring this thing back. Now I want to get my closed surface back, or the split back actually. For hide and show. There we are. If you double click on this, you can select the other side, or you can keep both sides. There we are. So now if you hide these surfaces, you can see that that purple object is actually control Z. That would be this. I hide this. It's divided into two pieces. Okay. So I hope you understand the idea behind the split. The split in the operations toolbar for surfaces behaves differently than the split in the part design to cut gray objects. Paths. There is no pocket here also. All right. Have fun.